Hey y'all, hey, what's up? It's your girl Jamae. Welcome back. So today I decided to do a frequently asked locked video update because you guys seem to really like these and I get so many questions about my hair and a lot of people are trying to start their lock journey. And so I am going to answer some of the questions that I frequently get asked. All the products that I mentioned are also going to be down in the description box. And so make sure you do that and also make sure you subscribe to the channel, okay? Because we're creating YouTube content and we are going to get our lives together. All right, so let's go. So first question I get asked is how many locks do I have? At the moment, I have 77 locks. I do have a goal of consolidating some. So my back row is, my locks are significantly, I would say, smaller than in my middle and front section, which are more fuller. And that's just because when I started my locks, you guys know this if you've watched any of my other lock videos before, the person who started them gave me really, really small parts. And so I really actually had like almost double the amount of locks, but I just didn't retwist them and they started to do semi-free form, which is when they start combining and then like I'm not really retwisting them. So that's how I actually ended up with my hair the way they did. Now, the great thing about that is I think that this is a great way for you to be able to combine your locks if you are also someone like me and you are like, my locks are too small or I want to change my locks. But the thing that I will warn you about is if you are someone who's very nitpicky about your parts, you might want to think about, going to someone who does it right the first time, because I do not have even parts. So for instance, like this lock right here, I can't go like down the exact center of my head. All of my locks are slightly shifted. It doesn't bother me, but I know it can bother some. But yeah, I have 77 locks. Yeah. And I know you guys are probably wondering what the style is if I cut my hair. I did not. My hair is still long, but this is lock petals. And so essentially you just take a rubber band. You literally just like pedal your hair and then you take a rubber band at the top and that's what you do. You just keep it like this. I've had the style in for over a month and I still love it. I don't know, I kind of like just want to keep my hair like this all the time. But she's almost time to take out. I'm getting ready to go on vacation in a few weeks, and so I'm gonna have to do a different style. But yeah, this is what a lock petal looks like. Just FYI. What products do I use to retwist and condition my hair? So everyone's hair is different. For me, I have found that my hair really just likes water and a lot of natural oils. So I like to use jojoba oil, castor oil, sweet almond oil are sort of like my three go-tos. I will also use tea tree oil if I'm noticing some itchiness in my scalp. I do have dry scalp sometimes because of medications, and then also have really bad sinuses and allergies. But that's where like rose water really comes in well. I also love aloe vera gel. It is by far my secret weapon, and I love to take that and just use that over my locks at least once a week or so. So I'll just take like a spray bottle with some rose water or regular water and like lightly mist my hair, not dampen, lightly mist. And then I'll take some aloe vera gel and then I'll kind of like just go in my hair to make sure my hair is staying happy, healthy, and hydrated. Because look, the last thing we need is hair on the floor. We're not doing that. We are not having our locks fall out. We're not having them break because we're not taking care of them. I try to do as much as I can because I do understand that the color is really, really draining and whatnot, but that's kind of what I do with my hair, and my hair likes it. The only product that I will use is my edge control, and I like the Jouy My Gel Naturals for my edges. There is a new edge control that I'm ready to test out because I've seen some other people talk about it. Now, I'm a little nervous because their edges are not like mine, so I don't know if it's gonna work as well for me, but I'm gonna try. Those are the products that I use for my hair. I keep it very simple. I'm not really a big fan of hair brands and like all of the different products and stuff that they push out, because a lot of these things are not made for locks in the first place. And I just think that, just work smarter, not harder. Next question I get asked is about maintenance. How often do I retwist my hair? So I am very, very, very tender-headed. And so I do not like to retwist my hair very often. I like to go anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks before I retwist. Obviously, that kind of just depends also on my schedule, because there might be times like recently where I've had to go a little bit more frequently because I have events coming up, or because I'm doing on camera work, or I'm doing something that requires me being on camera or visible a little bit more. But like if I'm just chilling and it's a slow season and whatever else, I like to go the 4 to 6 weeks route because again, I'm tender-headed. Even if you're not tender-headed, I would recommend that you not retwisting your hair too often because you can actually do a lot of damage to your scalp. That's where you get a lot of thinning in your hair because it's frequent manipulation. Traction alopecia can also happen a lot if you are over retwisting, and you just kind of don't want to do all that tension to your head. Like, don't do it. I think one of the biggest compliments that I get is that people say that they love how full my hair is. And even though I do have some weak spots in my locks, like which is to be expected, and you know, my hair is not necessarily the most integral because of the color, I would say that I'm very proud of the fact that I've cared for my hair by one, keeping it moisturized as often as I can and taking care of it, but then also not overdoing it when it comes to the retwists. Like, do not overdo it, y'all. I think that no sooner than 3 weeks is really kind of like a good way to measure it. But also understand that the longer you go, perhaps depending again on how tender your scalp is, it could be how, like, I can't go way too long anymore because at that point it hurts so bad when I actually get my retwist. But 4 to 6 weeks is my answer. So yeah. What is something that I wish I had known when I first started my hair that I know now? There's a couple of things. One, I think that locks are so versatile and you just have to keep figuring out what works for you and your hair. For instance, I would have never thought to try a style like this with my hair, especially as it got longer. Not because I didn't think locks were versatile, but you don't hear of them being as versatile as like natural hair or just like loose hair that grows out, right? And so I know that like some of my friends who also have locks, they play up with wigs and weaves and extensions and all these other things. And I think that's so cool that like we're finally starting to democratize hair a little bit more and create more opportunities for us. I think that women like Lettucey, Chloe and Halle Bailey, of course, even Pinky from Slutty Vegan, I think they're just doing such unique things with their hair that I look to for hair inspiration. And I think that it's just so great that we're seeing some more versatility when it comes to locks. And so if you are thinking about getting locks, do not think that you will be pigeonholed to just one hairstyle or that you have to just wear up or down. You can definitely play with different things and figure out what works for you because you can do that. Another thing I would say is people say that locks are very low maintenance, and for some people they are, but for other people they still require work. Like, so if you don't really like a real messy look, you know, you will have to get your hair retwisted, or you will have to retwist it yourself. You will have to lay your edges down, or you will have to tie your hair down when you go to the gym. Having locks is not synonymous with like low maintenance for everybody. Some people it requires just as much work or even more work depending on your hair. For me, my edges are very unruly, and naturally before I was either laying them down with edge control because I knew I could wash it out if I had natural hair, or I was getting my hair straightened, or I had a perm relaxer. So now having to deal with my edges in a whole different sense is kind of what makes it less low maintenance for me. But then like that's not everybody's answer, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's just, it all comes down to you and your hair needs, and you just figuring out what works for you and what you gotta do. What are some of the best tips for being blonde? I love being blonde. Anyone who knows me knows I have never ever talked about being anything but blonde. The only other color I've ever looked at that I've been like, wow, I really would love to see it is the ginger, like that ginger color that I see so many Black women rocking because it just looks amazing. But honestly, at this point, I don't even know who I would be if, I say that like half jokingly because I'm still me, but you guys know what I mean. Like if I was not blonde, it would just be such a weird thing for me to see because I've been blonde for so long. But what I would say is that being blonde is very time consuming. And it also requires a lot of you. It requires a lot from you financially, but then also a lot from you to just keep up your hair and make sure that your hair is staying hydrated. I would just say that making sure hydration is your friend is really it. If you are going to be the person who's going to have your hair like my color or like even lighter, you really are going to have to make sure that you are super invested in the health of your hair, because your hair is going to get damaged. My hair sheds, my hair breaks, you know, my hair does all the things that other hair does, especially when it's bleached and when it's colored. There's no getting around that, even if you take care of your hair as best as you can. But you can minimize stress by doing all of the other things proactively to make it work. So I would say that if you are really adamant about coloring your hair, or if you're especially adamant about going blonde, just kind of weighing out your factors, going to professional if you have never done your hair before is always a good step too. And just kind of always measuring the integrity of your hair. I only get my hair colored once, maybe twice a year. Again, depending on one, how fast my hair grows, and then two, like what my schedule is looking like. And the reason why I do that is because I cannot take the risk of coloring it and keeping it updated even more just for the sake of looks and aesthetics, and then my hair is breaking off because it just cannot handle the amount of chemicals that you're putting on it. So those are just some of the pros and cons to weigh. I am not the person, I think, always to be the one to be like, do this, do that, because you are hurting your hair. But I mean, anything you do to your hair is technically manipulation of some sort and is causing stress. So to me, I might as well be stressed and fly than just stressed, you know? So okay, I'm gonna take 2 more questions because I do want to keep this video kind of short. So the next question I have is about the next steps. Would I ever want to change my hair? And the answer is absolutely. I love my locks. I love being an ambassador for women with locks. I love setting the example for other people with locks, but I am not married to my hair. Right before I had locks, I was coming out of a buzz cut, and then I had my hair natural for about 6 months, like in a short pixie cut. And then I went into my lock phase, and I have just never been married to any of it. I just want to experience my hair for whatever it is in that moment. And I just want to enjoy the phase that I'm in, and then, you know, go from there. If I really like something, cool. If I don't, I want to change it. But I've really enjoyed my locks for the past, 6 years or so. And we'll just kind of see where it takes me. Like, I can't say if I'll have locks in another 6 years, but I also can't say that I won't, right? Especially as I continue to find new ways to try up with styles and experiment with things. And so I would definitely say that just don't be married, just be married to the experience of everything with your hair. Like, I am so blessed that in my lock journey, I have been able to, in many ways, be an ambassador for other people. There are not that many women with locks that you see in mega campaigns or fronting things, or, you know, being at the forefront center of like culture, which is unfortunate because locks are so integral, especially in the Black community. So I really feel really proud that I can kind of stand in that gap. The same way I am preaching about creating diverse opportunities for others, I also get to advocate that for myself. On the flip side, there are still a lot of ways that I see that I'm treated differently because of my hair, or, you know, that a beauty brand in particular may not respond to me the same way as someone who has a weave, or, you know, more quote unquote Eurocentric ideals standards. So it's always like balancing act. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to compromise who I am and what I stand for. So yeah, that's a little bit about, like, for me, my journey and where I see next. Now, for those of you who are like, so if you cut your hair off tomorrow, where would you go? I really love my pixie cuts. Like, I like even just having this style has reminded me like how cute like a nice little bob could be, like a nice little full bob. I never ever had a weave before, like ever. So that would be something kind of fun to try, just to see like how that is and experience that. And then last but certainly not least, This is a question that I actually get asked a lot, and it's really, really funny. It's actually about dating people, and if I notice that the men who like me with my loose natural hair are different than my hair with locks, and the answer is absolutely. I bag a whole different kind of person when my hair is in locks versus when I've had other hairstyles in the past. But that's nothing new to me, because I remember when I was like in middle school and high school, the boys that would talk to me when I had my hair a certain way then were very different than when I went to college, which is when I had my buzz cut. My buzz cut phase, there was a very specific kind of guy who was interested or intrigued in that, and I can understand why, I guess at the time of culture, how it was perceived. And then when I grew out my hair out, I don't know, I don't really remember recognizing that, because by then I was already in a relationship. But then outside of that, when I started my locks, there has been a kind of guide to focus on that. So it's been really interesting to see that. But again, I really don't care. I don't personally change up my preferences based upon my hair. And so I'm going to still date within the parameter of who I want to date anyway, right? But I do tend to notice that there is a particular kind of guy who looks at me with my locks, and you know, again, it goes back to the stereotypes, right? Like, and I'm not saying this for everybody, because I've genuinely met men who have liked me at all phases of my hair journey. And I know that there are other men out there too. But I also have met some men who feel very like, wanted to like super like hypersexualize me in certain hairstyles, or feel like with my hair like this that I'm more like natural and like inherently more low maintenance because I'm more earthy or whatever that means. So yeah, like they, you know, some people they just have these really, really weird stereotypes, y'all, and I just don't understand where it come from. I mean, I do understand, but like that's not my ministry, so keep that over there. But nonetheless, it's been really fascinating, you know, dating and stuff. But I mean, I've never had a problem finding a man. Don't ever expect me to have one. So yeah. All right, guys, I hope you guys like this video. It's a really, really quick lock updated video for you guys, because I know you guys ask. Again, any of the products that I mentioned will be listed in the description box down below. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have other questions about my hair or about locks in general, I will be more than happy to do a part 2. Just drop the questions in the comments and I will get back to you guys. Okay, take care. Bye.